Welcome to Friendeavor, the podcast, the weekly podcast where we explore the highs and lows of friendship with your hosts, Danielle and Kayla.
As we journey through life, our friendships often evolve and change, ebb and flow, and sometimes even come to an end. Danielle and I are lifelong advocates for the power of friendship, and we are here to guide all of us through the many challenges and joys that come with building and maintaining strong, meaningful connections with those around us.
Join us each week as we deep dive into the intricacies of friendship, from navigating conflicts to fostering new relationships and everything in between. With insightful interviews, personal anecdotes, and expert advice, Friendeavor is the perfect podcast for anyone looking to strengthen their bonds with the people they love.
So, whether you are on the go, taking care of chores, or just settling in, get ready to explore the world of friendship on Friendeavor, the podcast.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Friendeavor, the podcast. I'm your host, Danielle, going solo this week because our co-host, Kayla, it is her birthday, and so her husband, my brother, surprised her with a trip to Disneyland, and so she is there celebrating her birthday, and we hope she had an amazing time, but this week, it's just me, so I hope that's okay. This week, we are talking about having a little bit of faith in your friendship. Now, this might seem like a weird topic because a lot of the times we're just teaching you how to build those friendships or create new friendships. This might fall under more of the maintaining a friendship category. So what I mean by having a little bit of faith in it is trusting that it's not going to fail, or that another avenue that we're probably going to take is that there are not a ton of people who are going to set out to try to make your friendship fail. I am dealing with a little bit of that allergy congestion, so bear with me. If I sniffle, I will try to edit it out, or I will try to actually not even let it happen in the first place, but if you hear it, bear with me. All right, so diving into this topic, let's take the avenue first of people aren't actively trying to end your friendship. So let's take a scenario of 3 people, 2 of which are friends, 1 of which is maybe a new friend or a newcomer to that friend group. And friend A is kind of the mutual between B and C. B is the closer friend, C is the new friend. And sometimes B can feel threatened by C. They can think, oh, they're taking my place, or they want to make sure that I'm no longer in the picture because they want this friendship for themselves. I have been a recipient of this in the C category, going all the way back to the young age of 5th grade. I moved to a new town, and I think I may have talked about this on the YouTube channel, so if you've already heard this story, bear with me. But 5th grade, I moved to a new town, and there was a girl who we didn't go to the same church, but we had the same beliefs, and it was so amazing to go to school with another apostolic that I'd never had that before, and so naturally we gravitated to each other. But there was this other girl, the B friend in the situation, who took issue to the friendship that was developing between myself as the C and this other girl as the A, and she would just be it was not pleasant because she was terrified of losing something that she had, instead of just embracing me as another friend in their friend group. Again, this is 5th grade, so I take this example very lightly, but it does happen, and it happens at all ages. So instead of embracing me as a friend, she's like, oh my word, my friendship is going to end. This is back when you are in the mentality of best friendship is one person rather than that friendship tier like we talked about on the friendship pyramid. So if you find yourself becoming possessive of a friendship, take a step back, see why. Is there evidence that makes you think that someone's trying to take down your friendship? Because yes, you need to protect your friendships. You need to protect the people that you care about. However, sometimes we can protect out of an envy, a jealousy, I guess in this case, because you're jealous of something that you have. Envy is being jealous of something that someone else has, or being or wanting something that someone else has. So in this case, you feel like you are losing your relationship, so you are jealous of it, and therefore can act in an unseemly way under the guise of protecting your friendship. So from that point, basically you can just develop your own friendship with that person. And then, of course, if you truly feel threatened by it and maybe it seems like friend A does not see what's happening, have that conversation with them. Like, hey, what do you think about this person? Why are they honing in? Why am I feel like I'm being excluded or whatever? And use all those helpful communication tips like we've talked about. I feel this way when this happens. Not saying like, why'd you do that? What are you doing to me? Do you hate me? That's not a healthy communication. That's not open. That's coming in with your dukes up. And it's going to be pretty hard to be successful when you're coming in with that kind of attitude. Another way to have a little bit of faith in your friendships is one that I find quite comical. It's kind of sad, honestly, but it also is a little bit comical. Is in this situation of let's take the ABC method again. A and B are good friends. A lot of times they've got history, definitely that closeness, but they got history. And a C element comes into play, and B takes it upon themselves to tell C just how close they are with A and how they're just so good friends, and we've done this, and all of your conversation revolves around how close A and B are together as friends. I have been in this situation, and again, it's so funny because B is like going out of their way to tell C just how close A and B are. In one such situation, this happened, and two things just made me laugh, like out loud, honestly. The first thing is that the person who was telling me this is almost 10 years older than me. Between the 8 to 10 year range of age difference between us. And the friend that she was trying to convince me that she was so close with is also that age difference from me. So again, age is just a number. You could be friends with anyone, but to have that default of like, oh, my friendship is being threatened by this person 10 years younger than me, that shows a lot of insecurity in that B friend. And so in this situation, and this was several years ago, so there's no one who I have context that I'm thinking of in this, that I feel like my listeners would know, but come to find out, in this absolute barrage of telling me how good she and this girl's friend are, it turns out they're cousins as well. This A and B friendship, they're cousins. And when I found that out, I chuckled and still to this day shake my head and say, why did that girl who I barely knew try so hard to convince me of the realness of her friendship when they also had a biological connection, a familial connection? Like, have a little faith in your friendship. Have a little faith in your relationship that your friends can be friends with other people without worrying that you're going to lose out with them. People are so entitled to pick who they want to be friends with, and you are not entitled to demand who they can be friends with. I see a lot of situations in literally every age, from 10 years old up to 90 years old, of people who try to dictate who other people can be friends with. And that was one of my most memorable lessons that Dr. Daniel Blash, the late Dr. Blash, taught me in my life, was that you won't pick my friends. And the you being like the generic you, whoever that person is who's trying to pick my friends. That's not up to you. Your conflict is not my conflict. The reason you cut them off is not the reason that I'm automatically have to cut them off. I know what it takes to have a healthy friendship. I know what it takes to have healthy boundaries. And if something went down between you and that person, that does not mean that I'm going to disrespect them. I'm going to cut them off. I'm not going to love them anymore. That's not something that I'm going to do because I have a little bit of faith in this friendship, in this relationship. Now, if it turns out that they are toxic and I do have, like the episode we had a few weeks ago about knowing when to let go. If that is the situation and I have to know when it's time to let go, I will decide that, but it will be on my own terms. Of course, I say this all under the guise of friend to friend conflict, not if your pastor's telling you to to, limit your interaction with someone. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying peer-to-peer relationships should not be contingent on conflict with amongst other people. That's just not how it rolls. Like, I will pick my friends. I will choose who to have a healthy relationship with, and your conflict is not going to affect that element of my life. But yeah, I just think of that girl often. And again, this has been years since this has happened, but just, I mean, after like the first 2 stories maybe that she had told me, I was like, why is she telling me this all about this specific person? I had just met this person like a week before, and then a week later the B friend is telling me all the reasons why she and A are just so close, the closest of friends, and how they, are very intentional about the time they spend together and whatever. And I'm like, that's just weird. That was weird. And then, like I said, come to find out, it was just a matter of insecurity. But the age difference, that was the thing that really got me. Another element of having a little bit of faith in your friendships is just really that trust element. And we've done whole episodes about trust, so I won't go too deeply into that aspect. But giving the benefit of the doubt is so huge. So huge. Because what's the worst that could happen by giving them the benefit of the doubt? If it's something that was truly life-altering and terrible, I feel like you'd have a little bit more evidence on how you should react. But if it's something trivial and you just want to go in guns a-blazing and like root out the cause of the betrayal and blah, 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 you broke my trust because whatever, have a little bit of faith in that friendship. They didn't try to break your heart. They didn't try to break your trust. Give them the benefit of the doubt. See how much your relationship will grow and flourish. And time will tell. Time will tell. Things will come out. There are not too many things, especially the more people who know about them, that can just hang out under the rug and hope that nothing shakes them free. So, in the meantime, don't destroy a friendship just because you think that something that someone said that you thought, blah, 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 it all comes back to you. Have a little bit of faith. I also got a interesting story told to me the other day about someone who had started a conversation about another person. It's eerily similar to that one listener story we had a few weeks ago. But a person started a conversation with another person about a third person. So we could do the ABC thing, but we've already used that. So let's say 1, 2, 3. So 1 and 2 are having a conversation about 3. 2 takes a screenshot of that conversation and texts it to 3. Why does this happen? This is the second instance of this happening that we heard about on this podcast in like a month. Why are people sending screenshots of private conversations to other people? That is breaking trust. If you want an example of what it means to break someone's trust, that's breaking someone's trust. Taking your private communications and texting them to other people without the knowledge or consent of both people who, like, that's absurd to me. That is so insane. The only person I would do that to is to get feedback on something that I needed to say to make sure that I was being on the up and up, that I was not doing something that would cause harm. Like if I need my sister's feedback on, hey, how should I handle this? I will send her a communication. But this, in these contexts, these things are being sent specifically to hurt, to gossip, to cause division. If you are one of those people who does that, who does that, stop. Stop doing that. That is divisive. And there's no way that people can have trust in you or trust in your friendship, because the next time something rolls around, you will not earn the benefit of the doubt. That's done. That's over with. You lost that privilege. So to steer us back to where we came from with this episode is trust your friends. Trust that you have a healthy, strong relationship, that no one's actively trying to tear it down, and let time speak for itself. Time can heal the wounds, but it can also root out some things that you need to find out in order to have a healthy, strong life and avoid conflict. Ultimately, build those friendships, strengthen those friendships, have some faith. You don't have to prevent other friendships from happening because you feel threatened by them. That new friendship that's being built, it could be just for a season. I had someone ask me one time, are you and that girl, are you guys still close? Because you guys seemed really close for a couple years. And I told them, I was like, you know what? We are still friends, but no, we're not as close as we were during that season because the season has changed. During that specific window of time, we needed each other. I was helping her, she was helping me, and I'm not going to go into the details of what that means on here, but or what it was for us, but what it means is I needed her expertise and life experience with things that I was facing in that window, and she needed my life experience and expertise of things that she was experiencing. And like the balance that we both brought to that friendship really helped us be more successful. And we came out of that season still friends, not as close, but still friends. And I think we're both better off for it. So when I answered that girl's question, I was like, yeah, we needed each other during that time. And so if A and B, you guys got that long history of friendship and love and support, and C comes in and starts becoming friends with A, that does not mean that your friendship is over with A. It could be for a season, it could be for a lifetime, but have a little faith in your friendship and trust that you are doing everything you can to make it successful. Thank you so much for stopping by Friendeavor this week. We are coming up on the end of season 1 here in right about a month. And I'm so grateful that you've taken the time to get to know us and get to know this podcast over the last season. And we're looking forward to great things ahead. We'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Friendeavor the podcast. Don't forget to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. And if you enjoyed today's content, leave a review and share with a friend. You can find the show notes on our website, www.friendeavor.net, and in the description of this episode.
Friendship is a journey. It's an endeavor. We'll see you next time on Friendeavor.